Perfect. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening, DJ. I'm just waiting for each and everyone to join so that I can start with the class. Okay. I will be discussing the biochemistry of carbohydrates. That is the part 2 today. Yeah. So let everyone join, and then I'll get started with the class. Sure. Heart side, good evening, whosoever you are. Okay, good, perfect. Yeah. Good evening, heart side. Yeah, definitely. So today I will be discussing the ring structures of, yes. Good evening, Meghal. Today I will be discussing the ring structures of monosaccharides that I have not discussed before. And yeah, I will continue from where I left in the last class. Yeah, where I left in the last class, I will continue with that. And let's just wait for one more minute and then I'll start. Even though if there are two students, I'll continue with the lecture. No issues at all. Okay. I hope everything is clear. The audio visuals are very much fine, I suppose. Yeah. Sure. I'll just text students to join the class. Harkesh Beniwal, yeah. Yes, all clear, I suppose. Yeah, perfect. Hmm. I've just texted, I'll just start. Okay, not an issue. So starting with the glucose part, yeah, everyone knows that we are going to discuss the ring structures, that how from a straight chain a ring is formed, and starting with the monosaccharides. And in the monosaccharides, everyone know we have only one sugar unit. We have only one sugar unit. And now the very first monosaccharide which we are going to discuss, it is the glucose. It is the glucose. So first we will draw the straight chain structure, and then we will see how from a straight chain the ring structure is formed. That how from a straight chain a ring structure is formed. So remember, first we will draw 6 carbons. Okay, as already told, yeah, glucose is a molecule which is consisting of 6 carbon. Okay, and we will name these carbons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Gayatri, good evening, welcome to the session. Yeah, now guys, remember that on the very first carbon, we have the aldehyde group, that is C double bond O and H. Okay, so glucose is the aldehyde derivative. Okay, glucose is an aldehyde derivative. You can very well see कि at the first carbon we have the aldehyde derivative, that is CHO group, which is present. Okay, at the first carbon. Now in the second carbon, the OH will be present over here. The fourth carbon, the OH will be present on the right side. Okay, we have right side and the left side, so we have to accordingly mark. Where OH groups are present and where hydrogen groups are present. Okay. On fifth carbon, OH group is present over here, and on the sixth, you already know it is CH2OH. Okay. CH2OH. Okay, so we have CH2OH. Okay, so yes, CH2OH, or simply you can write like this also. Yes, CH2OH. Okay, now at the third carbon, you are very well aware कि the OH group will be present over here. The OH group will be present over here. Okay, and the hydrogen will be present on the right side. The hydrogen will be present on the right side. Okay, so yes, so at all other places, hydrogen will be on the left hand side. The hydrogen will be on the left hand side. So this is a simple structure of the glucose, where you can very well see that at the first carbon, the aldehyde group is there, whereas the OH group is present on the right side and the H group is present on the left side. Only the exception is at third carbon, where the H is on the right side and OH is on the left side. Okay, now coming on to the concept that how to make how to make a ring structure from this. Now remember, this oxygen, okay, it can react with the fourth OH group also. Okay, and this oxygen can also react with the fifth OH group also. This oxygen can react with the fourth OH group also and the fifth OH group also. Okay, so this oxygen, it can react with the, see, both are correct, but majority of the times this oxygen is reacting with the fifth carbon atom, the OH group which is present at the fifth carbon atom. So remember that this oxygen, it can react with the hydroxyl group present at fifth carbon atom. It can react at other OH group also, but remember, it is not like in majority of the solutions, I mean in majority of the cases, you will see the oxygen is reacting with the fifth carbon atom, and that is like a mediated structure is formed. Okay, so you already know that this is the straight chain of glucose. This is the straight chain of glucose. And after that what happens, you know that oxygen और हाइड्रोजन में से सबसे ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव कौन सा होता है? फटाफट से मुझे चैट बॉक्स में बता दो कि which structure is more electronegative between oxygen and hydrogen. Anyone? Which structure is more electronegative between oxygen and hydrogen? You know the okay, electronegativity. So yes, you already know कि oxygen will be more electronegative. See, this double bond breaks, okay, over here, and this OH group over here, this bond will also break. Yes, Harkesh, it's right. Yeah, this bond will also break. So remember, yeah, it is the oxygen. Yeah, definitely it is the oxygen. So oxygen will become partial negative and hydrogen will become partial positive. Okay, there will be sharing of electrons. Okay, so everyone knows that oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen. Okay, and over here yeah, over here also, if the bonds will be break, you will now see that oxygen will become partially more electronegative and this carbon will become partially more electropositive. This partial carbon will become more electron positive because it will lose an electron, obviously oxygen will gain a negative charge. Okay, so this is how a bond is broken. You already know OH is basically when it will break, it will be O minus H plus, like this. Okay, so it is the simplest thing that I have told you. And between carbon and oxygen also, oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. That is the basic knowledge that you all have. Okay, that is the basic knowledge you all have. And now what will happen? Now what will happen? See, now if suppose this particular bond between the carbon and the hydrogen is broken, which will be more negative? The OH group will be like more negative. Okay, you already know the OH group will be more negative, and the carbon over here will be more positive. Now what will happen? This OH, the whole OH group over here will transfer to this particular carbon. This OH group will transfer to this particular carbon. So I will try to draw the structure. You can see that the C always, okay, I'll just draw with the same colors. We'll draw with the same colors. So we have 6 carbons. Okay, we have 6 carbons. Now you can very well see that this OH will go to this particular carbon. Okay, so yes, the blue color OH will come over here. Okay, this blue color OH will come over here. Okay, due to the charge difference, this is minus, this is plus, this is plus, so this carbon will attract this OH over here. Okay, and this oxygen will combine with the first and the fifth carbon. This oxygen will combine with the first and the fifth carbon. This oxygen will combine with the first and the fifth carbon. The other structures are like same. The other structures are same. The other structures are same. So this oxygen, basically we have double bonds of oxygen. You can very well see one bond is basically with the first carbon and the other bond is basically with the fifth carbon. The other bond is basically with the fifth carbon. So now this structure where you can see the aldehyde group. Okay, so this structure is basically known as hemiacetal. This structure is known as hemiacetal. Okay, now this structure will later on form the ring structure. It will later on form the ring structure. It will later on form the ring structure. Okay, and this ring structure is basically the pyranose ring. It is basically the pyranose ring. Okay, so pyranose, basically it is a 6-membered ring. It is a 6-membered ring where we have 5 carbon atoms. Okay, plus 1 oxygen that is participating in the ring. We have 5 carbons plus 1 oxygen that is participating in the ring. Again repeating the structure, guys, you can very well see कि ये वाला जो OH है ये इस वाले कार्बन से आकर अटैच हो जाएगा due to the difference of the charges. Okay, carbon is positive, OH is negative, so this OH will come to this carbon that I have already mentioned, and this oxygen, क्योंकि कार्बन पर एक एक्स्ट्रा बॉन्ड बन जाएगा और कार्बन की वैलेंसी कितनी होती है, 5 होती है. सो नाउ ओवर हियर मतलब यहाँ पे एक एक्स्ट्रा आ जाएगा, तो व्हाट विल हैपन, दिस ऑक्सीजन विल बॉन्ड विद दिस फिफ्थ कार्बन, और ऑक्सीजन के 2 बॉन्ड्स हैं, तो यू कैन वेरी वेल सी ओवर हियर आल्सो. ओके, सो यस यस, So this is a very simple structure that I have drawn. I hope this is clear to you right now, guys. I hope this is hemi-acetal structure is clear. कुछ नहीं किया है बेटा, सिर्फ C डबल बॉन्ड O को इस तरीके से ब्रेक किया है और ये नीचे वाले COH को इस तरीके से ब्रेक किया है, पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव का चार्ज लगाया और बस बॉन्ड्स बनाए हैं और बस बॉन्ड्स बनाए हैं. चलो ओके ओके, विधि परफेक्ट, डीजे परफेक्ट परफेक्ट perfect perfect. Now guys, trying to draw the ring structure, or don't worry, I will try to show you in other monosaccharides also. We are going to draw each and every one, don't worry. Yes Harkesh, perfect. Now guys remember कि अब हम यहां से स्टार्ट करेंगे. देखिए ये ऑक्सीजन है और ये 5th कार्बन है, तो 5th कार्बन से आप स्टार्ट करेंगे यहाँ पे रिंग बनाना. तो मैं यहाँ पे कार्बन नंबर 5th लिख देता हूँ, ठीक है, कार्बन नंबर 5th, परफेक्ट बेटा, कार्बन नंबर 5th लिख देता हूँ. और कार्बन 5th जो है, अब देखो कार्बन 5th से क्या निकल रहा है बेटा, ऑक्सीजन, ठीक है, कार्बन 5th से ऑक्सीजन जा रहा है और ये ऑक्सीजन अटैच कर रहा है कार्बन 1 से. सो इट विल गो एंड इट विल रिएक्ट विद द कार्बन 1. यू कैन वेरी वेल अंडरस्टैंड कि 5th कार्बन से हमने स्टार्ट किया सर, ठीक है, 5th कार्बन से ऑक्सीजन अटैच्ड है, ठीक है, तो हमने स्ट्रेट लाइन डाल के ऑक्सीजन बनाया जो बॉन्ड है, और यही ऑक्सीजन कार्बन 1 के साथ अटैच्ड है. अब कार्बन 1 से नीचे आते जाओ, कार्बन 1 से नीचे आते जाओ, यू विल हैव कार्बन 2, ठीक है, तो वी हैव कार्बन 2, ओके, वी हैव, अब यहाँ पे C2 हो जाएगा, फिर कार्बन 2 इज अटैच्ड टू कार्बन 3, ओके, कार्बन 2 इज अटैच्ड टू कार्बन 3. Then we have carbon number 4, okay. Now this carbon number 4 is attached to carbon number 5. This is how a ring structure is formed. This is how a ring structure is formed. Starting with C5, okay, starting with C5, the 5th carbon bonds with oxygen and to the 1st carbon, then to the 2nd, then to the 3rd, then to the 4th, then to the 5th. And to the 5th carbon, you are very well aware, to the 5th carbon basically we have the 6th carbon which is attached, okay, the 6th carbon which is attached outside, okay, which is attached outside, which is attached outside. So you can very well see कि इस रिंग में कितने कार्बन्स ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, 5 ही कार्बन्स ने पार्टिसिपेट किया. although there are 6 carbons in the glucose, but in the ring there are 5 carbons plus 1 oxygen. In the ring there are 5 carbons plus 1 oxygen, and this is called as the pyranose ring, and this is called as the pyranose ring, now commonly called as the glucopyranose, commonly called as the glucopyranose. ग्लूकोज का बनाया है, that is the glucopyranose, that is the glucopyranose, okay. I hope you understood this particular structure, how to make a ring structure over here, how to make a ring structure over here. Is it clear guys, everyone? Is it clear guys? I hope everyone is like understanding this. Perfect perfect perfect. Chalo, perfect. चलो ठीक, आयशा परफेक्ट, डीजे परफेक्ट परफेक्ट, मेघल वाशवी परफेक्ट परफेक्ट बेटा परफेक्ट. चलो ठीक है, अब इसी पे थोड़ा OH और H कैसे लगाते हैं इसको अभी हम सीखते हैं, ठीक है, इसको अभी हम थोड़ा सा और सीखेंगे. हाँ, इसको दोबारा से आप रीड्रॉ करेंगे. हरकेश विधि परफेक्ट परफेक्ट बेटा. चलो, so this is carbon number 5 which is attached to carbon number 1, then we have carbon 2, then we have 3, 4 and again 5. So this is a ring structure, this is a ring structure that is drawn over here. Now remember that at carbon 1 we have 2 bonds, okay, one is the OH and one is the H. Now remember the right hand side and the left hand side. Now we will mark the right hand side and the left hand side. So OH is basically on the राइट हैंड साइड और राइट वाला जो है वो नीचे की तरफ आएगा और लेफ्ट वाला जो है वो ऊपर की तरफ आएगा. वी हैव टू शो द बॉन्ड्स. दैट इज वेरी वेरी रिक्वायर्ड, वेरी मच रिक्वायर्ड. We have to show the bonds. So the right one will come down and the left one will come up. That is about the C1 carbon. Coming on to the C2 carbon. Coming on to the C2 carbon. Now C2 may you can very well see OH is on the right side, that will come down, and H is on the left side, that will come up. Coming on to the third carbon बच्चे. थर्ड कार्बन में आप लोगों को पता है कि H जो है वो राइट साइड में है, तो दैट इज द डिफरेंस दैट यू हैव टू नोटिस इन द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ग्लूकोज कि H नीचे की तरफ आएगा और OH ऊपर की तरफ, OH ऊपर की तरफ आएगा. ओके, OH ऊपर की तरफ आएगा. फोर्थ कार्बन पर यू आर वेरी वेल अवेयर कि OH नीचे की तरफ है, H जस्ट लाइक द अदर कार्बन्स. और फिफ्थ कार्बन पे, ठीक है, फिफ्थ कार्बन पे basically the CH2OH is attached. Okay, CH2OH is attached और हाइड्रोजन हम लोग यहाँ पे नीचे की तरफ लिखते हैं बाय कन्वेंशन. ओके, बाय कन्वेंशन, क्योंकि ये फिफ्थ वाला 6 से अटैच्ड है ना, दैट इज द सिक्स्थ कार्बन, और सिक्स्थ कार्बन रिंग से बाहर आ रहा है, सिक्स्थ कार्बन रिंग से बाहर आ रहा है. So that is the simplest formula of how to make from a straight chain to a hybrid structure, that is the hemiacetal, and from hemiacetal to a pyranose ring, from hemiacetal to a pyranose ring. And remember, write down one point over here, students. Write down one point, that is for exam purpose. That is for exam purpose, that in solutions, 99% of glucose exist in the ring form, and that is the pyranose ring, So yes, ring form glucose, that is the pyranose ring, I hope the structure is clear. So yeah, I hope this structure is very much clear to each and everyone, so that I can just start with the next structure of fructose. Okay, I can start with the next structure of fructose. Perfect. Let us start with the ring structure of monosaccharide, that is the fructose. Can anyone tell me कि fructose में कौन सा ग्रुप प्रेजेंट होता है और किस कार्बन पर प्रेजेंट होता है? फ्रक्टोज में कौन सा फंक्शनल ग्रुप प्रेजेंट होगा? विच फंक्शनल ग्रुप विल बी प्रेजेंट एंड एट व्हाट कार्बन एटम? Like what carbon atom? And I will try to draw the structure. Very simple. Draw 6 carbons because they are monosaccharides consisting of 6 carbons. Okay, consisting of 6 carbons, and trying to name them. And I'm just trying to name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Yes, carbon atom 2 vidhi, very good beta, very good vidhi, perfect. Now remember कि carbon 2 पे we have a functional group which is present, that is the keto group, और keto group हमेशा second carbon पर ही attached होता है. It is not attached on the first carbon, it is attached on the second carbon. Yes, ketone group on the second carbon. Yeah, DJ, very good, perfect. Ketone group on the second carbon. Yes, it is perfect. Now remember that on the first carbon we have CH2OH And on the last carbon also we have the same thing, that is CH2OH. that is simply you can like write like this also. अगर इसको ब्रेक करके दिखाना चाहते हो तो CH2OH याद नहीं रहता है कि हाँ सर ऐसे नहीं याद रह रहा है, तो आप सिंपल इस तरीके से OH लिखिए और यहाँ पर हाइड्रोजन और यहाँ पर हाइड्रोजन, कार्बन के चारों बॉन्ड्स आप फुलफिल कर सकते हैं। ओके, एंड इसी को सिंपल वे में मैं CH2OH लिखता हूँ, इसी को सिंपल वे में मैं CH2OH लिखता हूँ। ठीक है, इसी को सिंपल वे में आई एम जस्ट राइटिंग CH2OH। तो इट इज जस्ट द सेम ऑन द फर्स्ट एंड द सिक्स्थ कार्बन। ओके, सेकेंड कार्बन की वैलेंसी पूरी हो गई, 1 2 3 और 4, ऑक्सीजन के 2 और कार्बन के ऊपर नीचे 4 बॉन्ड्स, तो H और OH की जरूरत नहीं है, H और OH की जरूरत नहीं है। कमिंग ऑन टू द थर्ड कार्बन, थर्ड कार्बन पे H इस साइड ही आएगा, जस्ट इन द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ग्लूकोज जैसे हम लोगों ने लगाया हुआ था। ठीक है, थर्ड कार्बन पर H हमेशा राइट साइड पे और लेफ्ट साइड पे OH, फोर्थ कार्बन पे OH ऑन द राइट साइड, फिफ्थ कार्बन पे OH ऑन द राइट साइड और H फोर्थ और फिफ्थ कार्बन पर लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, फोर्थ और फिफ्थ कार्बन पर लेफ्ट हैंड साइड। ओके, नाउ रिमेंबर दिस ऑक्सीजन now this bond will break, okay, and this fifth bond will break. Okay, this bond will break and this fifth bond will break. Again, you already know, as the bond breaks, carbon will attain a positive charge, oxygen will gain a negative charge. Over here also carbon will attain a positive charge and स्क्रीन ब्लर हो रही है, इट्स नॉट परफेक्टली वर्किंग। देखो चीजें क्लियर हैं, देखो द थिंग्स आर क्लियर नाउ। वाशवी विधि बेटा, थिंग्स आर वर्किंग परफेक्टली फाइन। ब्लर कैसे हो सकती है स्क्रीन में, समझा नहीं मतलब। चलो लेट्स सी ओवर हियर। ओके, ओके, परफेक्ट परफेक्ट परफेक्ट। चलो देखो, ये OH ग्रुप जो है बेटा, ये इस कार्बन पे जाके अटैच हो जाएगा, प्लस और नेगेटिव। ठीक है, और ये ऑक्सीजन, ये दूसरे वाला जो ऑक्सीजन है, दिस ऑक्सीजन will bind to both the carbons, this and this also, this and this also. So first I will try to draw the hybrid structure. Okay, that is CH2OH, that is on the first carbon, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth, and then sixth. Sixth is also CH2OH. Now this carbon will be bonded with the oxygen atom, the second carbon. Okay, the oxygen will be attached to form a bond between the second and the fifth carbon, and this OH will go at the second carbon. This OH will go at the second carbon, and remember this OH I will write it over here now. Okay, this OH I will write it over here. Okay, this OH I will write it over here. Okay, so you can very well see कि ये वाला जो OH है, it has just moved up with this carbon, and this oxygen has formed like bonds with the second and the fifth carbon, a single bonds. Okay, rest all remains the same. Rest all remains the same. So over here the third carbon पे H तो इसी साइड आता है, OH इस तरफ आ जाएगा. Fourth carbon पे OH is on this side, H will be on this side. Everything remains the same. Okay, everything remains the same, just as in the structure of glucose. Just as in the structure of glucose. Now guys remember कि ये हमारा था कीटो ग्रुप, यहाँ पे हमारा कीटो ग्रुप था. ओके, और प्लस OH जो इसमें ऐड हो गया, और ये कीटो ग्रुप था ऑक्सीजन वाला. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली नोन एज हेमीकीटल ग्रुप. Hemiketal group, that is the hybrid structure. Okay, that is the hybrid structure. Now we are going to draw the ring structure. Remember, it is the furanose ring for fructose. नाम से याद रखना है, F से fructose और F से furanose, which is simply F, F and F. That is a 5-membered ring. 5-membered ring. Okay, that is a 5-membered ring. Okay, now remember that again I'm starting with the same concept. We have the we have the second carbon, guys. We have the second carbon. Now taking this second carbon. Okay, now this second carbon is basically attached. Try to draw like this. This second carbon is firstly attached with the oxygen. It is attached with the oxygen, and this oxygen is bounded to the 5th carbon atom. This oxygen is bounded to the 5th carbon atom. Okay, this oxygen is bounded to the 5th carbon atom. So we have carbon number 2, which is bonded with the 5th carbon atom. That is, we have drawn like this. Now this 5th carbon atom, this 5th is basically now bonding with 4th carbon atom. Okay, 4th carbon atom. Now this 4th is bonding with 3rd carbon atom, and this 3rd is again bonding with the 2nd carbon atom. This 3rd is again bonding with the 2nd carbon atom. So we have started with the 2nd carbon. Okay, the 2nd carbon, which is forming an oxygen bond, then to the 5th, to the 4th, to the 3rd, to the 2nd. Okay, and remember कि 5th वाले से अलग, 5th वाले से अलग we have the CH2OH group. Okay, we have the CH2OH group which is attached over here, and okay, CH2OH group which is attached over here, and there is an hydrogen also which is present. So we will draw like this. Now coming on to the second carbon, coming on to the second carbon, coming on to the second carbon, coming on to the second carbon. You are very well aware कि second carbon पर जो CH2OH है, okay, OH is basically on the left hand side, तो OH will come over here and CH2OH will come over here. Okay, क्योंकि ये left side है, ये right side है, तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड वाली चीज तो मैंने ऊपर लिख दी, और राइट हैंड साइड वाली चीज दैट इज CH2OH वो नीचे की तरफ हमने शो कर दिया. थर्ड कार्बन पर हाइड्रोजन इज ऑन द डाउन साइड, या OH is on the upside. Okay, OH is on the upside. In the fourth carbon, you can very well see, okay, the OH is down like on the right side and H is on the up side. You can very well see right hand side वाली चीज नीचे आ गई और left वाली चीज ऊपर आ गई. So this is a ring structure, okay, furanose ring. So this is a ring structure, that is the furanose ring. So this is a ring structure that is simply known as fructofuranose. Fructofuranose. okay, furanose, a 5-membered ring where you can see a keto group in between, okay. And I hope this is clear, the structure is clear to each and everyone. I hope this is clear to each and everyone, I suppose. Yes, just give me a thumbs up that all is clear to each and everyone. I'm waiting. Okay, Vashvi, perfect. Perfect, Vashvi. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So this is, we have drawn the ring structures of glucose as well as, yeah, as well as the fructose. Okay. So I hope these are the things which are like clear. So now coming on to the next part, that is the disaccharides. Now coming on to the next part, that is the disaccharides. Okay, perfect, perfect. चल, now remember डाई का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा, 2, और सैक्राइड्स मतलब sugar units. So write down that it is joining two monosaccharides, and remember it is by the glycosidic bond, okay, that is the covalent bond, okay, that is the glycosidic bond, that is the covalent bond. Okay, and we have two types of disaccharides. Okay, we have reducing disaccharides and we have non-reducing disaccharide. रिड्यूसिंग का मतलब बच्चे मैंने आप लोगों को पहले भी बताया था, रिड्यूसिंग का मतलब आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू बिफोर दैट reducing simply means that there should be at least one free functional group, okay. It can be any free functional group, that is aldehyde, or I can just write like this, it can be one free aldehyde or a free ketone group, okay. Now see how to differentiate between a reducing and non-reducing disaccharide. It simply indicates that whenever a functional group which is present, which is involved in the bond formation, अगर functional group present है और वो bond में involved है तो वो non-reducing है, अगर functional group present है और वो free है तो वो reducing है, ठीक है. The functional group is the one which makes it reducing. which makes it reducing. Now non-reducing disaccharides, write down that whenever two functional groups are joined, functional groups are engaged into the linkage. Functional groups are engaged into the linkage. And that linkage is basically called as the glycosidic linkage. Okay, glycosidic linkage. And remember, whenever it is a non-reducing disaccharide, we cannot reduce the disaccharide further. It simply indicates that there is no free functional group. There is no free functional group. फंक्शनल ग्रुप कौन कौन से होते हैं? दो ही मैंने आप लोग को बताया, एक CHO और एक K डबल बॉन्ड O, सॉरी C डबल बॉन्ड O, दैट इज द कीटोन, और एल्डिहाइड वाला हो क्या? अब if both the aldehyde and the ketone groups are there, if both the aldehyde and the ketone groups are there, okay, and out of these two if anyone is free, it simply indicates that it is a reducing disaccharide, and if both are involved, it simply indicates that it is a non-reducing disaccharide. No free functional group, no free functional group. Okay, so that is about in general about the disaccharide. So now we will try to discuss the examples of the reducing disaccharide. Now we will try to discuss the examples of the reducing disaccharide. So here we will make a table first. Here we will make a table first. First we will write the name. After that we will write the monomer units. Monomer units. And then I will write about the linkage. Then I will write about the linkage. First I will write about the name, then the monomer units, and then I will write about the linkage. Then I will write about the linkage. Okay, so the very first one, that is the maltose. Maltose. Remember, maltose is the disaccharide, okay? Reducing disaccharides. Now we are talking about the reducing disaccharides. It means it is having free functional groups. Free functional groups. Now this maltose is basically formed of monomer units, that is glucose plus glucose. Glucose plus glucose, and over here the linkage which is involved, over here the linkage which is involved, it is alpha 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage. I will explain this. I will draw the diagram also, so don't worry. I will draw the diagram in the next slide, but just first make a table of what diagrams we are going to draw for each and every case, and then we will simultaneously draw all the bonds, and I'll explain you what is alpha, what is beta, what is 1 to 4. Okay, but first write it down in the form of a table. 1 to write down the second one. Okay, the second one, that is isomaltose. Isomaltose and maltose. What is the difference between both the structures? that's why we have alpha and the beta. Over here it will be the beta linkage because these are not same. So we will have beta 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage. Over here we have beta 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage. The fourth reducing disaccharide, that is lactulose. And over here it is simply, it is a synthetic one which we are actually synthesizing. So write down just the monomer units over here, that is the galactose and the fructose. There is no such linkage which is seen over here. So just remember the monomer units are galactose and fructose which is involved. So this is about, in nutshell, about the reducing disaccharides. Non-reducing disaccharides, come to the next one. And non-reducing simply means there is no free functional group. No free functional group. There is no free functional group. Okay, we have the names again, making the table. Functional group hai, but they are engaged in the linkage. There is no free functional group which is present. We have the monomer units and we have the linkage. The very first one, that is the sucrose, and the second one, that is the trehalose. Monomer units of sucrose, it is basically glucose plus fructose, and for trehalose we have glucose plus glucose. The bond which is involved, or the linkage which is involved in glucose and fructose, it is alpha 1 to beta 2 linkage. Now you already know कि अल्फा पहला कार्बन हो गया जहां पे CHO ग्रुप होता है, और ये बीटा 2 दूसरे कार्बन पे C डबल बॉन्ड होता है. दोनों फंक्शनल ग्रुप इन्वॉल्व है लिंकेज में, तभी इसको हम लोग नॉन रिड्यूसिंग बोलते हैं. दोनों फंक्शनल ग्रुप इन्वॉल्व है लिंकेज में, तभी नॉन रिड्यूसिंग बोल रहा है. और ग्लूकोज और ग्लूकोज पे फंक्शनल ग्रुप C1 पे होता है, और ग्लूकोज दूसरे वाले पे भी C1 पे ही होगा. एवरी ग्लूकोज हैज फंक्शनल ग्रुप ऑन द फर्स्ट कार्बन. So over here we have alpha 1 to 1 linkage. Alpha 1 to 1 linkage. Alpha 1 to alpha 1 linkage. Okay, simply. Okay, so we have, this is the examples of non-reducing disaccharides or reducing disaccharides. तो इनके structures फटाफट से बना लेते हैं. इनके structures, तो the very first one that we are going to start up with, that is according to the table we have the maltose. According to the table that we have the, we have maltose. So we will start with the structure of maltose. How? So everything is clear up till now. I hope everyone has made the flow chart along with me. Everyone has made the flow chart along with me. The table, I mean not the flow chart, the table. I suppose everyone is writing and चलो बच्चे एक थम्स अप दे दो that you all are participating. एक थम्स अप दे दो, डेट ऑल इज डन। चलो, जिंदा हो तुम लोग, नहीं हो? जो भी दो चार बच्चे हैं, जस्ट चलो, विधि परफेक्ट, वाशवी परफेक्ट। परफेक्ट। बच्चे रिप्लाई करते रहो, पता ही नहीं चलता है क्लास में हो नहीं हो। नहीं भी हो तो कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ तो लो ही, वरना बाद में दिक्कत आएगी, क्योंकि बायोकेमिस्ट्री तो यही है जो पढ़ा रहा हूँ। इसके बाद अभी ग्लाइकोलिसिस है, एनारोबिक ग्लाइकोलिसिस है, इतना कुछ है। केमिस्ट्री ऑफ कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स में अभी इतना टाइम लग रहा है। So if we have a lot of things to learn, okay, so yeah, so maltose is a reducing disaccharide. Maltose is a reducing disaccharide. Okay, now we are going to draw this reducing disaccharide. So remember, maltose is simply glucose plus glucose, glucose plus glucose, and you already know we have the structure of glucose like this. We will draw the 6 carbons, और अब कार्बन बनाने में ना फुर्ती आ जानी चाहिए। थर्ड कार्बन पर बस चेंज होता है, H इज ऑन द राइट साइड, OH इज ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड। ये राइट है, ये लेफ्ट है, तो ये OH सेकेंड, फोर्थ और फिफ्थ पे यहीं हो गया, और H इज ऑन द, या H is on this particular side. Okay, so numbering we have already done 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. We have 6 carbons. Okay, we've just done the numberings. Now we have drawn one glucose. Now I'm trying to draw the another glucose. I'm trying to draw the another glucose. The same structure you have to repeat. Okay, the same structure that you have to repeat right now. Only the change is at the third carbon. The H is on the right side. Okay, so this is the second carbon. Okay, I mean second glucose. So we have one glucose and we have another glucose. So we have one glucose and then we have the another glucose. And remember over here, the bonds. Okay, the bonds between the first carbon atom, and you already know we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. So there is a linkage between the fourth carbon atom and the first carbon atom. We have the linkage between the first carbon atom and the fourth carbon atom. So we have this first carbon, ये first carbon है और ये fourth carbon है, ठीक है, ये fourth carbon है। इन दोनों के बीच में linkage देखने को मिलता है, that is simply called as alpha 1 to 4 linkage. अल्फा 1 to 4, अल्फा बीटा क्यों? क्योंकि दोनों ही स्ट्रक्चर्स ग्लूकोज के, दोनों सेम स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, इसलिए मैंने अल्फा यूज किया टर्म। ठीक है, अभी के लिए इतना समझो कि वी हैव द सेम स्ट्रक्चर्स, ग्लूकोज और ग्लूकोज, और ग्लूकोज के लिए ही वी हैव अल्फा 1 to 4 लिंकेज, अल्फा 1 to 4 लिंकेज। ओके, so that is simply guys, you are aware that, yeah. एंड सेकेंड, ये माल्टोस का स्ट्रक्चर होता है जिसमें 1 और 4 दोनों बॉन्ड्स फॉर्म्ड होते हैं, ठीक है। और दूसरा जो मैं आपको बताने जा रहा हूं दैट इज आइसोमेल्टोस। आइसोमेल्टोस अगर देखोगे तो इट इज बिटवीन द फर्स्ट कार्बन एटम एंड द सिक्स्थ कार्बन एटम। इट इज बिटवीन द फर्स्ट कार्बन एटम एंड द सिक्स्थ कार्बन एटम, दैट इज सिंपली alpha 1 to 6 glycosidic linkage, alpha 1 to 6 glycosidic linkage. So in maltose we have alpha 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage, and in isomaltose we have alpha 1 to 6 glycosidic linkage, alpha 1 to 6 glycosidic linkage. We have alpha 1 to 6 glycosidic linkage. Okay, so is this clear to each and everyone over here right now? Just let me know if this is clear to each and everyone right now over here. अब इसका रिंग स्ट्रक्चर बना के देखेंगे. इसका रिंग स्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे पहले मेल्टोस का. इसका रिंग स्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे मेल्टोस का. सो इसी में हमें बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन देखने को मिलेगी. इसी में हमें बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन देखने को मिलेगी. सो या now guys, first I will try to draw the ring structure of one glucose. First I will try to draw the ring structure of one glucose. Okay, you already know this is the fifth carbon which is bonded with the first carbon. Then we have second carbon, then we have third, we have fourth. Okay, and ultimately the fifth one is attached to the sixth carbon. Ultimately the fifth one is attached to the sixth carbon. Okay, now I'm trying to draw the same structure in the same orientation because we have glucose and glucose. We have glucose and glucose. I will just try to show the bond over here. I will just try to show the bond over here. So we have C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 and which is attached to C6. Now remember that we have H and OH group that we will mark, that I have told you like this कि जो right hand side वाला है which it will come downwards. Okay, it will come downwards and the left hand side will come upwards. The left hand side will come upwards. So yeah, at the first carbon you are very well aware. Okay, at the first carbon I have already told you, see over here that yeah, the H is on the left side and the OH is on the right side. OH is on the down, that is on the right side, H is on the up side. So we will try to draw the structure over here. So we have OH on the right side and H on the left side. Second carbon also remains the same, OH over here, H over here. On the third carbon there is a difference. On the third carbon there is a difference. H is on the right side and OH is on the left side. Fourth carbon again, there the structure is same. Fourth carbon again, the structure is same. The OH is over here and the H is over here. The H is over here. Now the same thing I will draw for this glucose also. H, OH, H, OH, H, OH, and at the third carbon you already know we have H on the right side and OH on the left side. We have H on the right side and OH on the left side. Okay, OH on the left side. Now guys, coming on to the bond now. So yes. So now coming on to the bond, you are very well aware. Now what will happen? This OH, okay, this OH and this H, or I can just simply show you like this कि there will be a removal of a water over here. Okay, there will be a removal of a water over here. So water is basically H2O. We have 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. We have 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So OH from this and hydrogen from this will actually get removed out. Okay, there is simply minus H2O. And how this bond will be formed? You are now very well aware कि आपको ये सेम स्ट्रक्चर रिपीट करना है. I'm just drawing the shot over here just to show you the bond now. Just to show you the bond. So over here the hydrogen is left, okay? The hydrogen is left over here, and if the water molecule is removed, only oxygen is left. Only oxygen is left, which will link both the glucose together. And this is the structure which is called as the maltose. This is the structure which we call as the maltose. This is the structure which we call as maltose. Is it clear, guys, everyone? Just give me a thumbs up that this particular structure is clear to each and everyone. So this is something which is called as maltose. Okay, this is something which is called as maltose. So yeah, from tomorrow it will be a regular class. Today like 1 hour, tomorrow also 1 hour, and I will start with head and neck also simultaneously. Okay, I'll start with head and neck also. Yeah, Harkesh, I think it's clear. I hope you all like learned something today. Vashvi, Harkesh, I hope you all learned something today. Tomorrow I will continue with the same. I'll continue with the other structures. Isomaltose is an homework to you people. Isomaltose is an homework to you people. You people will draw the structure of isomaltose and send to me on my WhatsApp कि सर हमने isomaltose बनाया है. Just try it out if you can make. Okay, if you can make. Okay, sure. So I hope you all understood what we have discussed so far. Okay, perfect. Tomorrow I will take 1 hour class, and from now I'm just like free. I will take the classes daily, so don't worry anyone. Okay, don't worry. I will complete the biochemistry with me. You will complete within 1 or 2 months perfectly with biochemistry. पूरी बायोकेमिस्ट्री एक एक चीज हम लोग डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे. वेदर इट इज द रिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स, वेदर मतलब ग्लाइकोलिसिस भी अभी सिर्फ नाम नहीं, मैं स्ट्रक्चर्स भी बनवा दूंगा आप लोगों को. अगर एग्जाम में स्ट्रक्चर्स पूछ लेंगे तो मैं आपको स्ट्रक्चर्स भी बनवा दूंगा. डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. ओके, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. आई विल डिस्कस ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. कोई भी चीज़ ऐसा नहीं होगा जो एग्जाम में आएगी और आप लोग नहीं करेंगे. यू विल लाइक डू ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. ओके, सो यस, perfect, perfect guys. Okay, bye Vashvi, bye Vidhi, thank you. Perfect.